All right, welcome to Back to School Night. My name is Mr. Munoz. Parents can call me, you can call me Fernando if you want. You don't have to call me Munoz if you don't want to. This is the choir room. I'm the choir teacher. So let's get started. Actually, I'll just go ahead and say this is pretty much how I start the year with these guys anyway. These kind of slides. So the theme of the year, they all should know it by now. The theme of the year is love. And because love, we have alliteration, starts with an L. We have the three L's. This is our theme. So the first one, leave the negativity. Before they even walk in the room, they know. Don't bring any of that negative energy in here. Leave it at the door. Okay? Second L, live the legacy. Has kind of a bonus L in there. So we have all these pictures on the wall of years of choir before these guys came. That's what living the legacy is. It's keeping up the tradition of choral singing that we have years before. And then the last one is the most important, love each other. So this can also just mean treat each other with utmost respect. Okay, so it's just how do we treat each other, right? So those are the three L's. Then I followed that up with the choir rules. I introduce these maybe 1 on Monday, 1 and 2 on Tuesday, 1 and 3 on Wednesday. So we add one each day for the first week. So your best begins right here in the choir room. So if they didn't have a good day before they got to the choir room, that doesn't matter. They can leave it at the door, and their best begins right here. Number 2, cooperate and participate as a team. We emphasize that a lot in the choir, in the choral world, and any musicians in an ensemble. It's just like being on a football team or a soccer team. We have to support each other. Rule number 3, work quietly during independent work. So we have written work every day for about 5-10 minutes. That needs to be done quietly and independently. Even if they're finished, they know they probably shouldn't be talking at all until Mr. Munoz is ready to go over the work on the board. Number 4, raise your hand if you have something to say. So that prevents the whole idea of people just blurting things out over and over and over again. Okay? Number 5, practice proper rehearsal etiquette. So when we're rehearsing, when we're in the classroom, there are things that are not proper etiquette, and I have to teach them, well, what does etiquette mean? It kind of means manners during rehearsal. Should you be touching and messing and pushing people around while we're in rehearsal? Should you be talking while I'm talking? So things like that. I ask them what they think it means so that they can come up with the meanings themselves. And I always remind them when we're doing rules, everything we do together. So that emphasizes more like rule number 2, participate as a team. Everything we do together. Okay? This is what happens when you break the rules. So I'll give them a verbal warning, okay, just to remind them, like, that's not how we do things in here. After that, we do push-ups and squats. So if you break any of these 5 rules, they should know by the 3rd or 4th week of school, they'll know. I'll just give them a look. They know to do push-ups or squats. That's what they need to do. If they can't do that, or if they refuse to do that, then I have them step outside. And if they're still defiant, which doesn't happen very often, I'll send them to the dean's office, because they could squash the issue right here with push-ups and squats. But if they refuse to, dean's office is where they go, right? These are the 3 things that they need to bring all the time, every day, every rehearsal. They need a pencil for their written work. They need their choir folder, which has their written work and their music that we're reading. And then they need to bring a good attitude. That one's pretty obvious, right? That contributes to the idea of participating as a team. Everything we do together. So we can't have one person bringing in a bad attitude. We need to do everything together and have a good attitude. So here's an example of a normal day. So we have stretches. This is a pattern that we do every single day. It's the same. It's kind of like they look at me and they mirror it, right? Posture. This is the idea before we even get to singing. We need to have proper posture. I talk to them. What is proper posture? What does posture even mean? Are there areas in their life where posture is a good thing? Not just in choir, but in life, right? Breathing. We do that after posture. So just to help them prep their breathing mechanism before they start singing. And then we start the warm-ups. So that goes for anything like ooh, ooh, yeah, could be any kind of warm-up, right? And I'll usually label the warm-ups like this. These 4 things that look like gibberish to you, these are the 4 warm-ups that we can do. And then I always switch them up all the time. And then we move on to our music, right? After we do at least one of the songs, we go into what's called focus, which is the written work that I mentioned. And that takes about 5-10 minutes to finish and go over. I have some announcements that I usually make with him before we continue with our rehearsal. Sight reading is just practicing the skills of reading music off the page, and then we end with a song usually. So that's about a normal day in Mr. Munoz's class. These are things that this would be in the announcements, but this is especially important for you parents to know. We have a lot of privileges here in choir. We have an accompanist, Miss Ellsworth, who plays the piano, so that I don't have to. I get to focus more on teaching. Private voice coach. It's almost like free voice lessons, which is really nice, more individualized. They get to go on field trips. They have choir uniforms like tuxes and dresses and bow ties and all that. Transportation for the bus, lots of things. It's really, really pricey. It adds up a lot. So that's where you guys come in. We need a lot of help from parents to be boosters. So you can provide all sorts of help. You can donate things. You can help us run our choir events by selling tickets and standing at the door, handing out programs. You guys can help us fundraise. You can help us get some sponsorships to earn more money in our budget. You can help us budget, figure out what we need. So we are always looking for boosters to help with the music program. This is what I do with my students. They have the BHS Choir's website. That's where they can keep up. I'll post things on there that they need to know. This is my email for you parents, just in case you need to send me an email about anything. This is my office phone number. I don't give this out to the kids, but if you need it, it's right there. I have them on the Text Remind app, so they use that, and I also have one. If you parents want to sign up for it, you'll know exactly what your kids are up to and what they're doing. And if you have any questions for me, you can also use the Remind. You can use my email, you can use my office number, either way. And if you have any other questions, feel free to ask me now before we leave, or you can just send them to my email or to Remind. Yep, and that's all I've got. Thank you, parents, for coming.